They're giving me a free power pack.
Nice.
What is this?
Okay, so when we left,
There was all sorts of shit going down.
there was some serious shit going down. Pedwin was starting fires all over the damn place.
Like usual.
And all of you fled through your various exits and met up at this kind of great entrance that you can see. And even those with dark vision, look at. Well, actually, you know what? If you guys can look at that if you'd like. But what I need everybody to do is make a stealth check.
You said roll stealth?
Roll stealth.
Come on, be sneaky. I don't know what I got. Yeah, I am sneaky snack.
Oh no. Oh, maybe it can be made up for. Let's see. Oh, the last portents that you did, I think you got 10 and 3. Ah, okay. Okay, I just gotta do this for Danny and Kanye.
I like how they just tag along everywhere.
That's coming to a stop real soon.
Are they gonna die?
No.
Are they just gonna get lost?
Ooh. Okay, and the last one to do this. Okay. So the collective group stealth check was to see if you could escape from the crossroads without being noticed. Unfortunately, you have not succeeded at this. There are not all the guards are committed to the fires, and it wouldn't have been so bad, but there were 2 people that rolled a 1. So, as you guys have, you fled and you've met up outside this grate. And as I think it was the bear that you fled with, he transformed, and when he transformed, he revealed a very youthful boy, probably around like 16 or so years old. And he and Steve-O worked together to move one of the grates covering this hole. And it is around this time that you all notice a guard up on top of the wall. And he looks over and sees the group of you. And he calls out, "What are you doing down there? We need help in here. Come on!" And with that, he turns and runs off to try and deal with what's going on.
I was gonna wave to him. Is he gone?
He is gone as far as you know. He disappeared from behind the wall.
Okay.
All right. So it's also at this point that Aya seems to close her eyes for a moment, and when she opens them back up, she says, "I got a message." And Holg turns to her. And Aya turns to Holg and says, "Holg, Boff would like to see you. Can you take these two with you?" Holg looks a little dissatisfied with being just kind of delegated some courier duty. Apparently, I just heard from him for the first time. It was a quick message, something along the lines of, she seems to be concentrating to try and remember. In the stone town, northeast, met the ship, and send help, I think was the last part. Holg, I know I'm asking a lot of you and we only just met again, but could you take these two and try and rendezvous with Boff? Holg stops and thinks for a moment. What were you going to say, Steve-O?
She's talking about Kanye and sex bang, right?
Yes. And Holg seems a little dissatisfied, but at the same time, he remembers that Boff is kind of his employer. He is the person that hired him, and he's now requesting help, so he probably should go. So Holg is going to head over, and he's going to ask Pedwin if he can have his horse.
Can I have me horse?
Thanks. And with that, he and Danny and Kanye. Oh, that horse is supposed to be with him.
How
There we
good
go.
was my Holg impression?
It was pretty good. I liked it, Steve-O.
Yeah.
They three of them mount up, and Holg looks a little concerned at Aya. And then the three of them ride off towards the northeast, where it was indicated that they should go, according to Aya. Northwest, yes. Some direction like that.
That's I feel like they went the wrong way.
No, the town, according to Aya's message, is in the northwest. Yes, they did. Well, from what you can gather from that. Okay, Big Mo and the teenager have together moved this grate. Actually, Steve-O, I'm going to need you, or Big Mo, I'm going to need you to make a strength check. See how long this
Strength?
takes. Retroactively is what you're going to say?
I don't know. Oh. Well, let me check something quick.
Yeah. Shitty strength check. I should have been raging when I did it.
Yeah.
Alright.
I've used
It's,
one of them. I don't know what I used my rage check for. Oh, it was no. What did I use rage for? I can't remember. I did use it.
Yeah, there was a fight earlier in the day, like right at the top of the day when you guys almost lost your horses.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but he
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
rage
use
during
rage
that.
for that. I thought it would be unfair.
I mean, you did have a level on him. You already had a pretty good advantage. Oh, speaking of which, before he goes, Holg tosses you a bag of 8 gold because he owes you that for your win. So add 8 gold to your total, Steve-O.
Hold on. What happened with 8 gold?
Holg bet you 8 gold that he could beat you in a fist fight, and you
We
won
were
that
betting
fist
the
fight.
gold we got off the guys earlier, weren't we?
Yes. So he thing is, he just pointed to the pouch that contained the 8 gold, and so
I thought we were
technically you
just-
both bet.
Oh, so I get 8 extra gold from him?
You get another 8 gold. He tossed you that before he left. Okay, so it is at this point that together Big Mo and this boy have pulled this grate, and Big Mo couldn't quite get his footing, but it didn't matter because this kid is surprisingly strong. And like to look at him, you can tell that he's a pretty young kid, but he's very, very well built, very like thick, burly kind of body type and arms. And the two of them together are able to move this grate by hand. All right, so the grate stands before you, half open. There is
The
a
great
continued
what?
thrum of activity from the nearby crossroads where you can hear orders being shouted and the sizzle of steam and fire being quenched.
Can we call it the great grate of non-moving?
Sure, if you want to call it that.
Awesome.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Jump in the hole. Is that allowed?
Alright.
How deep is it?
You'd have to take a look.
Can I take a depth check?
You can like kick a rock in.
I kick a rock in.
All right,
I
so
check the depth. Go ahead.
okay, so Big Mo kicks a rock as Pedwin leans in to try and peer down. And Pedwin can see this rock start to careen off into the darkness. And he sees it hit against a wall with a dull thwack, and it bounces and careens back and forth and kind of bounces off a few walls, and eventually it seems to hit a stone wall and then bounce out of sight, but you don't hear it hit another wall, so you can assume that it has in fact continued off in a direction you cannot see. That happened.
Okay. I trust Joe's feather fall.
The boy looks at him and says, "You can do that?" Aya looks over. Aya looks over the edge and down into the darkness, and then at the tiny gnome who is offering to try and control all of their descent into this darkness. She shrugs and says, "Well, good enough for me." So all of you will descend into the pit.
If I
Alright,
break
and with
my
that,
legs, I'll make sure you don't have any legs.
So are you going to cast something, Pedwin? One, two,
Woo!
3, and everybody jumps in. The boy going first, followed by Big Mo, Pedwin, and Aya, and everybody dives in the hole.
I don't dive, I jump. Last thing I
jumps.
need is to land on my head.
You're going to cast Firebolt straight down? Well, you saw that rock bounce, so you kind of have an idea of where that first curve is going to be.
This is the point where Joe goes, "Oh, I forgot to prepare a feather fall."
Alright, sorry, I'm just bringing up some character sheets here. Okay. Alright, time to go.
Can't see.
I'm gonna bring you out in a second. Just give me a sec.
I thought Joe casted Firebolt.
So Joe
what is-
casts Firebolt, and as he's falling down, and there's people kind of bouncing off rock ledges, and as he shoots this off, you see that you are. It takes a pretty good angle, and it careens down, and you can see that the path that you all are, in essence, falling and sliding along, is relatively one direction. It's just the layout of the cave itself has a lot of kind of some minor curves and edges. Nothing really hard. Just give me a sec, all right?
Did you say
Okay.
One Direction?
No, I didn't.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Okay, there we go.
Oh wow, they have a lot of YouTube videos. Or a lot of YouTube views. This video has 154 million views.
That's insane.
Holy shit. 181 million views? Okay, I have to see what their highest viewed video is.
Okay, that should have everybody there. Can you all control your characters?
674 million views. Alright, so wait, what? What's happening? Oh, holy shit.
Alright.
I tested it like an hour ago.
No, he didn't. Before you go ahead and cast Featherfall, I need everybody to do a dexterity save.
Oh, yep, I'm breaking a leg.
Okay, so Stevo and the boy, when Pedwin casts Featherfall and you all start to descend very slowly. So you have casted that, yes? You're going to mark off that spell slot? Okay. So when he casts that, basically it does slow everybody down, but Pedwin or Big Mo and the kid are actually tumbling down face first. So you guys are going to have to make an acrobatics check. And you both manage to either swing your legs around or catch a part of the cave wall and right yourself, so you land on your feet. And thanks to the Featherfall, nobody takes any damage. That was a good call, because that was probably going to hurt somebody. So as all of you land, the four of you together manage to all land on a pile of what is not as hard as rock, but there is a lot of snapping and breaking, and as all of you kind of get your bearings and pick yourselves up out of what it is you've fallen into, looking down, you see that it is an amassment of bones and branches and other things that remnants of creatures that may not have survived the fall up to this point or died some other way. And just some detritus from that would have come down this hole from outside. Nope, you guys had to jump in right away.
Smells like home.
All of you quickly extricate yourself from the bones, given that you don't particularly want to rely in the remains of other creatures. As you take a moment, your eyes begin to adjust to the room around you. Well, except for Pedwin, who has already gotten a pretty good view of what's around. And looking about the cave...
I can't see anything.
Looking about the cave, you... Okay. Okay, make a perception check.
Do they have camouflage or some shit where Joe wouldn't be able to see him if he's walking around? Camouflaging.
Well, as best you can tell, Joe, no, there is nothing in the immediate vicinity of that rock.
Not a pod person.
You glare at the rock. The rock
The natives,
does not glare back.
The natives drove these things everywhere.
Aya has kind of dusted herself off and thought, oh, well, that was fun, and is rubbing a portion of her back where she landed on. So, we are now in the hole. What was the next step of this plan? And at that point, the kid jumps up and he says, the next step is that we find my brother.
God, here we go. Where's
Yeah.
your brother?
Aya turns to this boy and says, "We came down here to rescue one person." The boy, hearing that, and doesn't particularly like it, gets right up to Aya's face and says, "That's not just one person. My brother's all I have. So yeah, we're down here to find him. You can help me, or you can go." And with that, he pushes past her and heads towards the exit. You can ask her that. You're the
Because we
guys who
wanted-
chose to jump in the hole.
I wanted to help Bearman. I freed him from the cage. He's now my pet.
Aya takes a look around and comes to the conclusion that she's not getting back up through the way that you guys came down. And says, "Well, we're here now. Might as well continue."
Am I able to get a sense of just how strong Aya is?
You can make an... Let's see, what would this be? I think it is probably going to be perception. I just need to check something. Just give me a sec.
Wisdom allows you to read body language. I think it might count as it. If you carry yourself well, you're probably super strong, right?
Or you're really good at trying to pretend that.
Hi guys.
Okay, make an investigation check, Steve-O.
This is a point in time where she's like, "Oh, I decided to start taking the first roll."
Oh wow, you got a crit. Okay. So you take a look at Aya and you kind of give her the up and down while she's continuing to just kind of check her armor and dust things off. And you notice that as she's kind of brushing off the dirt and dust, that it's not any one particular thing that stands out, but it seems like, for example, when she strikes somewhere that there is armor that the character's wearing, it makes a different sound. It sounds more like cloth. And that when she continues to dust herself off, sometimes it seems almost like her hand passes through where her clothing should be and then strikes something. You can ask her that. Well, that's true. It's Steve-O that's done the perception check. Or Big Mo that's done the perception, so. Are you going to do anything with this newfound knowledge, Big Mo?
Sorry about that. My mom walked in. What happened after you said she was rubbing her up and it was making a different sound? What happened after that?
So she was dusting herself off, and you notice a few like incongruencies. So where she would hit herself, seemingly her clothing might pass through her armor, like just a small piece might pass through it as if it wasn't there. And the way her hair moves is not quite... Yeah, her clothing. The way her hair moves is not quite representative of what you see.
So she's a pod person. I won't let Joe know, but I'll keep it in mind. Last thing we need is Pedwin freaking out about pod people. Wait, so do I get the idea she's powerful then? I don't care about her.
You get the
her
idea
clothes.
that... Well, the thing is, all that you notice when you
is that she
take
has
a look at her
fashion sense.
Is that
Does
there's
she have
something
good
about
fashion
her
sense?
appearance that is not what it seems.
Okay. Oh. Oh. He was helping me out with knowledge he doesn't have.
I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh god, dude. I have to slick my. She didn't see me admiring her, did she?
She did not. Your perception check was very, very sneaky. Okay, descending.
Do we have names for the lady? I know we don't have the kid's name.
Well, nobody's asked the kid's name yet, and you've heard the lady's name. It's Aya.
Hey, yeah, okay. Why doesn't Joe's character have a name in the thingy-majig?
It does to me.
Really? Maybe it's not. That's how it is for me too. It's just my name. Okay, whatever.
I'm not
Do
certain
this.
why that's occurring. It might be some of the options at the bottom. You can choose to show your name to. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. We can figure that out later. So,
Okay.
from the ceiling drops a large, what appears to be like a slug, almost. But it's quite tall, considering that it's dropped down right behind Pedwin. It basically dwarfs him. It is a very small gnome in front of a very large, segmental creature with these large, glossy eyes and this lamprey-like gnashing mouth in the front of its face. It smells awful. And it is, at first, the boy's turn. And with his turn,
Oh god.
he's going to...
Edwin,
he
did you
turns
shit
around
your
and-
pants again?
Actually, hang on, sorry. Before this happens, there's got to be the surprise round. So this creature is going to attack its nearest target, which is Pedwin.
Joe, I just saw what you typed.
Okay, so this creature is going to attack. What is your AC, Joe? Okay, so this creature, as it lands, it lashes out with some of its tentacles, and it smacks Joe right across the back. And Joe, you can feel a sting from a barb that is on the end of this tentacle that you're struck with. I need you to make a Yes, it is. It's a large, like it looks quite like a slug, but it has these tentacle-like appendages just around that lamprey mouth. It's got about 15 or 20 of them, and they're arrayed right around its face and just kind of writhing and touching all the surfaces around it, trying to get a sense of what it is encountering. These dark, glossy eyes just fixated right on you. So I need
Edwin,
you to make
cover your anus.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, so the you can feel this kind of cold, creeping, freezing sensation coming out from where you were struck by this tentacle. But after a brief point of it trying to set in, you notice that it just kind of fades away and doesn't really seem to take much effect on you. You do take 5 points of poison damage, and then it lunges in to snap with its jaws at your body, but after having spun around from being struck by this first attack, you're able to jump back out of the way, and it latches its jaws onto nothing. And then it just continues to look at you and kind of writhe its body and its little sensory tentacles around its mouth. Okay. The boy is going to run up. And it is going to... you see him as he's charging, he begins to once again kind of... his body almost seems to churn and withdraw, and you swear, Pedwin, at this distance, you can hear the dull creak and snap of bone changing conformation and tendons being strained and stretched and all this kind of weird and frankly uncomfortable noise.
And he disappeared.
He does disappear for a moment.
It's magic. It's a lion.
Not quite. And what remains after his transformation is a large
Lion.
brown bear. And that is going to be his turn, but he does basically finish his transformation, and he's right up next to this thing, right beside Pedwin, and just growls at him. You can see his fur is standing up on all ends, and you notice that the fur that is covering this bear is the same as his hair color. So there is a connection there between those two things.
Yo, you know what a bear is, right? You know they don't moo, right?
You don't know that. This bear could move. Okay. It is Aya's turn.
What? He doesn't attack?
No, his action was to transform.
Ah, what a lame action.
Not in this case.
Oh.
So he's finished that, and he's growled, and he's definitely ready to fight. It is at this point that Aya simply, after the reeling from the initial shock of this thing landing there, she simply shrugs, and then you see her eyes begin to gloss over, and the iris, the pupil, everything disappears, and they are a very stark white. And at that point,
That's what I was about to say.
all of her flesh seems to just shift in its shade, and it begins to become darker and darker and darker, and eventually what is left, the hair itself seems to shorten and fall off, and the armor she was wearing before, it changes in its tone, its coloring a little bit, and it seems to withdraw just slightly, revealing a smaller person beneath this, what you now know is an illusion. And standing there is a red-skinned, red-haired, bright white-eyed female with two horns that seem to frame the sides of her head as they curl around behind her ear, almost kind of like a ram's horn.
Sort of like Hellboy.
Yeah, kind of like... Oh, no, because Hellboy's, they curl up. Hers are curling like out along the side of her head and then down behind her ear.
Okay. Like a ram?
Yes, like a ram. And what stands before you is a leather armor-clad, red-skinned tiefling. And she raises up one hand and mutters something in a language that you've never heard before. There it is, okay. Oh, that's really too bad. Okay. And what she does is basically raise her hand up, and what you guys see is a small distortion in the area right around her hand. And this very dark black, but with veins of slight colors, blues, greens, yellows, and little points of light, seems to streak out from this distortion. and head directly at the creature, which quickly slithers its way out of the way, and this beam just careens over top of it and impacts into the wall behind it, and takes out a good chunk of rock, leaving a nice little notch in the hole. She, upon seeing this miss, she curses under her breath and then pulls out a crossbow and does not move, and that is going to end her turn.
Big Mo's turn.
Big Mo is up.
Big Mo moves 30 spaces. And
Alright, what you gonna do, Big Mo?
Strikes with Great Axe. Oh, come on.
Well, it connects. You bring your big great axe up after maneuvering into position, and right down on this creature, dealing a mighty 4 damage. It buries itself and manages to pierce through the chitinous armor, and not very deep, but it does draw some blood from this creature, which then turns around and snarls at you. Something like that. Alright, is that going to end your turn?
I'll end my turn.
Okay. Pedwin, you're up.
Gonna do.
What are the casting times on your spell and your Produce Flame cantrip? Alright. Firebolt away. Alright, so you raise your hand up and you fire out this burst of pyromancer energy. And just like the beam that Aya had shot beforehand, it once again slithers out of the way and contorts its body such that where it would have normally connected before, it now misses, and it impacts against the wall behind it with a small explosion and a poof of dust and chunks of rock as they fly off from the wall.
Joe, you were 5 feet away. How did you miss that one?
Okay, he is going to get an opportunity attack as you move out of range. So it is going to... Oh, right, because you can impose whatever you want on that. Okay, so you make him get a 2 for his roll? God damn, that's a useful ability. Okay, so it, What?
Yep.
Yeah, it seems pretty fucking good. Alright, so as Pedwin starts to move around behind the bear that has come to flank this creature, it lunges forward and gnashes at you again with its teeth, but you very nimbly hop over it and you do a little half twist and land behind the bear, and you put your thumb up to your nose and you wiggle your fingers at it and then run backwards. And it is now the creature's turn. It is going to choose to engage the bear that is right in front of it, that just blocked it from getting its meal of this, what appeared to be the smallest and most easily defeated creature. And it will attack the bear. I got the wrong sheet open here. There we go. Okay. So it whips several tentacles around and slashes this bear right across the side of its face, dealing 5 poison damage. Okay, and he has to make a Constitution saving throw. Which he does not. So now he is poisoned. He is considered poisoned for the next minute. I'm gonna leave that little thing there as poison. That seems the most poison-like to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right, if I remember. Okay, so he is poisoned for 1 minute. And then it will follow up with a bite attack, which is also going to connect.
We also do the poison symbol.
There's a poison symbol?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is. Yes, let's go with that, poison. Okay. And it lunges forward and it latches its lamprey-like mouth onto just part of the bear's neck and just grinds its teeth into the flesh, and this bear is just roars in pain as a result of receiving this rather grievous wound, and takes an additional 4 damage.
Wait a minute, that's not the noise a bear makes.
Well, I'm not very good at bear impressions, so sue me.
What?
Oh, I see.
I wasn't complaining about your noises. I'm sure a bear could make that noise without any problems.
It is now the bear's turn. And he is going to lash out with a claw attack and a bite of his own. Alright, so as it lunges forward, it attacks and latches its jaws right onto the side of this creature and just sinks them in. And again, you hear the snap of some of the chitin that is surrounding this creature give way, and some of the blood and juices of this large slug-like thing just ooze their way out from around the jaws of this bear that's latched itself onto it. It brings up one claw to do an additional attack against it, but the creature manages to wriggle free, and the claws simply glance off the armor. The creature takes 8 piercing damage from the bite. Okay. Aya is going to raise her hand and do the same attack that she did before. And unfortunately, she is going to miss again. So once again, that small distortion appears in front of her hand, and a beam of energy fires out, very dark with these colorful veins of light and small points within it. Once again, the creature rather nimbly contorts itself out of the way of the blast, and it impacts in almost the same spot on the wall, making the previously gouged hole slightly larger. Make an Arcana check.
It's a light spell. So
You can tell that it's not any spell that you know or you have seen very often before. It does not appear to be from... Give me a sec. It does not appear to be from any of the elemental types of magic that you're familiar with, so you know it's not going to be like a fire or frost or lightning damage. It's clearly an evocation spell because it's projecting damage forward, but no, you can't. You don't quite have an inkling of what that spell is just yet. But you know that she's been able to cast it twice with very little effort, so you can determine that it's probably a cantrip. All right, Big Mo, you're up.
what do you think Big Mo's gonna do?
Okay, you bring your great axe up and you slash once again, and it actually connects at nearly the same part on the creature that you did before. So it crunches through the armor again, and more of its blood sprays out to the side with the force, because this one managed to connect a little bit more forcefully. And you do 8 slashing damage to the creature.
Woo!
Okay, Pedwin, you're up. Alright, make your ranged attack. It connected this time. Wait, hang on. Oh, I see. The damage roll was a 2 on the d10? Okay. So Pedwin raises his hand up and a small igneous burst fires its way out of his palm. And this time making purchase on the back of the creature. It does connect there, and it does... You can see a char mark and a singe on this thing's back, the armor being blackened at the part where it connected. But it didn't seem to do too much damage. And then you move to hide behind Big Mo. Alright, that ends Pedwin's turn. So this creature is now going to turn towards Big Mo, who has been doing the most damage to it, and he's going to launch his attacks.
HPG.
Alright. Okay, so as it turns around, it brings up several of the tentacles around its mouth, and they streak across and slash across your chest. 2 of them making a connection. I'm going to need you to make a DC, or I'm going to need you to do a Constitution saving throw. Okay. So you feel a cold, freezing sensation spread out from the wound, but it seems to fade out rather quickly, as a slightly discolored blood seems to run down your chest as opposed to into your system. And you are not poisoned, but you do take a total of 8 poison damage. Or sorry, no, you take a total of 4 poison damage from the tentacle attack, and then it lunges forward and latches its mouth onto the portion of your body that it's already wounded, and just bites in, tearing away chunks of skin and muscle as it goes, and then pulls back, and you see it chew and digest the small piece of you that it just tore off, and you take 8 piercing damage.
How much?
8.
8.
It is 12 in total.
Let me just make sure I subtract right. Yep.
Alright, and that is going to end its turn. And now the bear will attack. It's gonna bear so hard on this guy.
I don't know if that's a thing.
What, you don't know if bear can be used as a verb?
Yeah.
I assure you, bear is very much a verb.
Huh.
So this, the bear, it bears real hard, and it lunges in and bites again on the other side of this creature's neck. Once again, the teeth breaking past the armor with the force of the jaws of this rather considerably sized creature. The creature itself, this time seemingly reacting for the first time to someone's attack on it, it lets out this strange and guttural groan, and you see little bits of fluid and blood spray out of its mouth as it seems to reel from the bite, and wriggles itself free as once again the claw comes by and just glances off its armor. And he is not moving anywhere, so that is the bear's turn done. I gotta find some battle music so this is not as boring. Okay, so this time Aya raises her hand up and closes her eyes, and she's much more focused on where this thing is moving and how it's contorting itself. And as the distortion forms in front of her hand and that same kind of dark beam jets out, it slams into the side of the creature, and you can see it punch through some of the armor and into its flesh as it leaves a small circular wound in the creature itself. And this thing is starting to take a beating. It's looking a little nervous, and it's kind of writhing around frantically looking for a way out of this situation where there are 4 attackers against it. Big Mo, what are you going to do?
Debating if I should rage. Swing again.
All right. So you bring your axe around over your head and come horizontally at the creature, and you bury your axe right into the tail chunk of it and actually cut a small portion of it off. And the creature once again reels in pain. And as that large piece of its body is in fact severed from it, it slithers away and leaving a large trail of blood and entrails and other bits and pieces of itself as it is trying to find somewhere to escape to. And as it does,
get an opportunity attack?
Well, it's continuing to bleed out, and it's just losing more and more of its mass, and it eventually stops writhing and just lays down, and you see a small gasp escape it, and you hear the wheeze of its last breath leaving, and this creature has died.
Well, that hurt.
And with that, the bear once again shifts form.
It's now 2 things. Oh. He's still poisoned.
He is still poisoned.
What was he poisoned with?
He was just poisoned with whatever the... Not quite. He was poisoned with whatever the natural venom that this creature possesses.
Gonna die.
You can't tell that.
Are you gonna die?
After finishing his transformation, the boy looks up at you and says, "Oh, I certainly hope not." And then kind of stumbles over and actually he just throws up behind the rock.
Can I search the slug thing for any hidden treasures?
You can search the slug thing?
I searched the slug thing.
Alright. You search him good. Let's see, that's a...
Have Navigator Burnley's Great Axe.
It does not have Navigator's Burnley's Great Axe, no. But you do find in and amongst the entrails that it spilled, you seem to cut into part of its digestive system, and you can see that some of the precious metals that survived the digestive process, and you kind of pick these pieces up and brush off the little bits of feces and an entrail that have clung to them, and you get yourself 14 gold.
Yeah, does anybody else want gold?
Everybody takes a
Yep.
step back and holds up their hand. They're like, "No, you can keep that."
Joe, you
Well,
don't get
sorry,
any. I had
Aya
to buy
does
a
that.
stupid horse. Those horses were expensive. Alright. Big Mo needs a long nap soon.
All right, do you guys want to take a long rest?
I agree. I won't be able to restore health with a short rest.
Yeah, you can with your. Oh, you used all your
Yeah.
hit die?
Huh? Yeah. Sorry, I thought I said uh-huh.
Okay. Well, everybody sits down and you all just kind of collect in a small alcove off the main chamber that you guys landed in.
I'm gonna turn to the lady and say, looks like you're not what you seem.
Okay.
Damn it, Joe, if you lure another one of those slug things, I will not be a happy barbarian.
Aya turns to you and says, "You'll find that's true about many women."
Oh god. Women.
But I certainly mean you no harm. Not for the time being, anyhow.
I don't say anything else.
The boy turns to her and says, "I never trusted spellcasters." And out of the corner of his eye, he looks toward Pedwin. They tend to destroy things that are around them. And with that, he sits down, and he's clearly not in a very good mood. You can see him just kind of holding his stomach and just sitting there, kind of perspiring lightly. For what? Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just need to check here for damage. This guy took.
They do flamage.
Well, this kid took some damage. Aya didn't take any. Okay, it has been a short rest. It has been approximately an hour. You've heard no sounds from above where you guys fell down. There doesn't seem to be any sign of pursuit from that direction. And the cave itself has been relatively quiet. You've heard the squeaking of bats here and there, and you've seen a couple come out from down the tunnel that Pedwin had investigated before, but nothing else has shown itself during the hour that you've been down here.
Onward and upward.
All right. Okay, we need to decide a marching order. Who's going first?
I think Joe should go first since he has dark vision. No, I don't have enough health to deal with a random encounter.
Well, before anyone can volunteer, the kid goes up ahead in front of everybody else and starts walking down this tunnel. He's calling out, and he's just basically yelling down the tunnel. You hear him yelling, "Rowan! Rowan! I'm here to find my brother." He doesn't seem to be listening to you. Alright, so as you are all progressing down the tunnel, more and more of it slowly getting revealed to you, you come out to see that there is... what the fuck, I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. So everybody comes forward to see that the chamber stops, the hallway that you're in stops abruptly and then opens up into another chamber to the north of you. And as all of you walk out here,
I wish I was level 5.
expanse seems to open up in front of you.
Ooh.
And you can see that shortly after you enter this room, there is a pretty considerable drop-off, and then a large depression in the land. It seems like it may have at one point been a riverbed from many, many decades ago, but it is completely dried up now, and it's about 20 or so feet to the bottom. And standing in the center of the room is a series of planks that have been arrayed in a small walkway. It looks like pretty rudimentary construction. Doesn't seem terribly sturdy. And it is sitting in the middle of the room. And it seems to offer a way across this small depression in the land that you guys have discovered. Doesn't seem what? Well, it is broken, yes, but we'll go ahead and make a perception check. Oh wow, you got okay. All right, so you take a look around and let's see what's 60 feet from you. Okay. So you see that the walkway itself is wooden planks that have been here for a while. Some of them are falling apart or already broken, and they seem to connect these stone platforms that are sitting on top of natural rock formations in this small cavern that you found. You do notice. Give me a second here. Come on now, there it is. You do notice that hanging from the ceiling by a chain connected to both of its wrists is a skeleton that just appears to be hanging there. However, it has lost both of its legs, and it's just a torso and arms and an upper body that seem to be barely hanging on to this chain, where it appears to be latched. There are manacles that are around this, and somehow its form had stayed together enough that it hasn't yet fallen down completely. Looking around, you do also notice through your dark vision, you can make out the silhouettes of various bones that are strewn about the floor of the cavern. And you can't tell for certain, but you swear you hear a very soft movement of air, almost like something's breathing.
Over here, look, some planks.
You can tell that the bridge is still serviceable. It will still function as a bridge, but as to how much abuse it will take, that is a little bit on the uncertain side. Well, you can. It doesn't go all the way across, but that doesn't mean that you can't use it.
We can jump. It's only a 5-foot gap. We can jump across that.
Yep, that one's
Did you think they were like hanging bridges that were cut in the center, so they were like falling down or something?
Oh no, the from what you can see, it's these bridges are on like a set of upright poles that are keeping them at the level that you guys are, and they meet with the platforms and kind of the whole surface that you're looking at right now. All of that is on your elevation, except for that which is inside this double line area.
Big Mo's launching service is now session.
So as Big Mo steps very carefully out onto the wooden platform, you hear it creak, and it sways just a little bit, but it is enough to support his considerable weight. And he turns to face. Aya pipes up when you say that, and she says, "That's probably a good idea."
Do it yourself. I run and attempt to jump across.
Make an athletics check. Or acrobatics, whichever's higher for you.
Crop.
Okay.
I assume jumping 5 feet isn't very difficult.
Jumping 5 feet is not very difficult. You make your jump, and you land it without too much difficulty. Once again, the wood creaks underneath you. There's a shaking of dust that comes off the planks as you land, but you successfully make your landing, and you make it over to the stone platform, which is the first landing there. Pedwin, what are you doing? Alright, make an acrobatics check. Or acrobatics or athletics, whichever you would prefer. Oh, no problem. Pedwin takes a running start and pulls off a little front flip as he lands very easily. Clearly, a creature of this weight not really threatening the structural integrity of this this thing that you're on. What? What's the flying squirrel? Oh, I see. Very nice.
It gives him more resistance to the air, so he doesn't go as far.
Aya walks up next. She looks around and says, looks like fun. And then takes her own couple of steps to run up to it and then jumps. And she successfully leaps across here. Again, the board's creaking on her landing. And I'm going to need... Actually, you know what? Never mind that. So you're walking across to the next platform? Yeah. Okay, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. One of the boards that you're on does in fact snap as you put some pressure down onto it, so it actually happens back here. Sorry, about midway through the platform, and you're kind of stuck with one leg hanging down through the wooden construct, or the wooden bridge itself. And you're kind of held in your tracks as you're slowly trying to extricate yourself and pull yourself up out of that little hole. Alright, and you successfully pull yourself up and then make it across to the other side. Okay, now it's the kid's turn. Ooh, okay. So the kid, as he takes off, unfortunately, as he's trying to get his footing, the board that he's on breaks, and he's going to make a dexterity save. Ooh, and he does not make that. So as he loses his footing, he reaches out to try and grab the next board. And unfortunately, his hand just goes right through it. It's not ready to take something of his weight. And he slips and takes a tumble. And he lands flat on his back down at the bottom of the cavern. Taking a whopping 2 bludgeoning damage.
Wait, how far down is this?
It's about 20 feet.
Oh.
There is currently no way for him to get back up there using the wood, because all the bridges are relatively intact except for the few pieces that are scattered on the ground.
What's...
No, they're across the gaps. None of these bridges are connected to the ground. So this bridge here is like this bridge here, except for the fact that it's broken in that part. And the same is true for this bridge. It's just the end of it is completely broken apart, and there's nothing there to help support you. You can see scattered remnants of it at the bottom of the cave.
So he's down there, right? With no way back up?
Well, the kid is now down there.
Yeah. Can I take the rope attached to my explorer's pack and toss down one end?
You certainly can.
I'm gonna do that.
All right. As you are tossing down the rope, with all the ruckus and the noise that's been kicked up by this kid failing to make it across, as you are tossing down the rope, which he is coming around to the side to try and pick up on that, a swarm of bats descends out from the roof and begins harassing the whole group of you as they're heading straight towards the source of this sound, and they begin attacking anyone they can find. The first person they encounter is Aya. Well, yes, but they're headed towards the sound, so they don't attack you first, Bedwin.
Please. Why don't you shoot firebolts at them for us?
Make
God.
make an acrobatics or athletics check, whichever is higher for you. Okay, so Pedwin takes a running start, and again, somebody of his weight is not really a threat to how sturdy these boards are, if they're all in good condition. And he jumps across the 10-foot gap, managing to catch himself. Almost doesn't make it. He gets like half of his torso lodged on top and then hauls himself up. He is standing safely across the other side of the cavern.
So I'm holding the rope with one arm. I've wrapped the rope around my arm. Okay? And with these bats flying around, I take one of my hand axes and use my other arm to swing at the bats.
Okay, so your attacks... are you right or left-handed? Like, are you holding the weapon in your main hand or your offhand?
My offhand. Because I'm holding the rope with my main hand.
Okay. So you're not going to be able to apply your strength stat to the attack and damage rolls?
So it's just a 1d6?
No, it's going to be a d20 and +2 for your proficiency for your attacks, but you're not going to get to add your strength modifier to it.
Like that?
Yes. And those will be your attack rolls, and then your damage rolls will be whatever the damage die is, +2 for the proficiency, and that's it. So do you have the hand axe stats?
Yes,
Yeah,
just a
so-
1d6.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so it's just going to be the 1d6 then.
So it's just 1 damage.
Yep. Okay, so thing is, we haven't actually rolled initiative for this, so let's do that.
Oh, I thought it was just like a random encounter, but they were.
Well, no, you got to roll
Pestering
initiative even
us.
for random counters, or even for
Well,
random
I
encounters.
meant it was just like the bats were pestering us and kind of doing damage, and we just sort of like shoo them off, sort of thing.
No, this is an aggravated swarm. It is not willing to just leave you alone. You're in its territory as far as it's concerned.
Bats actually attack people.
Swarms of them do. Joe or Pedwin, have you given an initiative roll?
Oh, well, then if we're doing initiative, just screw whatever I was just trying to do.
What do you mean?
I assumed we, because of that, like if I would have known we were rolling initiative and it was actually going to be like a fight against bats, I wouldn't have done that.
So are you dropping the rope now and you taking out your full-on weapon? Are you committing to combat?
Well, if the bats are going to attack me,
The bats are going to attack the first person they encounter, who is Aya.
oh yeah, screw that. Staying with the rope then.
Okay. All right, so let's get the turn order. Descending. Okay, and it's actually Aya first. So seeing these bats head towards her, she's obviously not going to be in range to hit with her crossbow. So you see her stow that and then take out a large, dark wooden club. And before she swings for it, you see her just hold it briefly in the one hand, and you see her close her eyes and mutter a quick chant. And her hand seems to wave up and down the length of the club. And
Like
these...
she's stroking it?
No, it's not. She's not actually touching it. She's just kind of waving her hand around it, and the
I see.
space around the club seems to become slightly wavy and distorted. And then she swings for the swarm of bats. And she whips it around. It's traveling. She would be able to swing such a thing. And just bashes several of the bats out of the air, and they go scattering into the walls. Or you can see a piece of wing break off of one of them.
Did that just happen for you?
What? Okay, what did you miss?
Something about so the club looked like it was too heavy, and she swung it around in ways that she would have been able to. Is that what we're getting?
Yeah, she swung this club really quickly, and it connected with enough force to tear a couple of these bats to pieces. So it did a little bit more damage than it seems like it would. And then she's going to back off and try and head down towards the bridge. She's taken a note out of Pedwin's book. And as she does... Alright, gotta get this ready. So as she does, a mass disconnects from the roof and heads straight down towards where she is. And as it does, it's connected to the roof, which is only about 10 feet above where this platform currently is. But
What
as
the
it
hell?
drops, it slams down into her, and you can see it land on her shoulder, and she kind of doubles over from the force of the impact. And she kind of tosses it off, and it lands on the wooden walkway itself, and just kind of slams down there.
What is that thing?
You can perform a nature check and try and see if you know it.
Where
It
did it
disconnected
go?
from the roof. It was not, but from all respects, it looked exactly like a rock. It looked exactly like a stalactite. You know that it looks like a rock.
Looking rock.
It's got beady eyes and little gnashing teeth. And the swarm is also going to get an opportunity attack against Aya because it moved out of range.
Ooh.
Oh, unfortunately, I was a fucking idiot and I didn't prep this attack, so give me a second.
Ooh.
So while this is going on, the kid is actually no, because it's got to stick in the turn order. Fuck. Okay. Sorry, guys. Just give me a sec. Okay, so the bats, they kind of churn forward, and they start swarming around Aya. Some of them landing and like biting onto any bit of exposed flesh that they can find. And you can see her kind of frantically waving her hands around, trying to bat them off of her. And she takes a little bit of damage.
Takes
And
a little bit of
otherwise,
damage.
hmm?
Takes a little bit of damage.
Well, they're bats. They're not that dangerous. And that is going to end her turn. It is now the kid, and he sees the rope that Big Mo has thrown down to him, and he starts climbing up immediately. Oh, and that's no problem. And he hauls himself right up, back up. Oh no, but he's got. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, and he gets back up on top of the wooden platform here.
So you're gonna say on top of Big Mo.
Well, he gets onto the wooden platform. Thankfully, you're not standing on that wooden platform because it doesn't seem like it would take the weight of the two of you. And he is now immediately confronted with this swarm of bats. Okay. Where is the... Oh, there it is. Alright. So he's used his action to get up there. He does not have his movement. That ends his turn. It is now the bat's turn. And they are going to continue their attack on Aya. So they're going to continue to try and swarm over top of her. Oh, what a... And they critically fail. So they try surging forward to continue their attack on Aya, but she definitely dodges out to the side and back onto the stone platform, and they miss completely. swooping forward and missing their target entirely. Okay, and that is going to end their turn. Okay, Big Mo, you're up.
Alright, for a bonus action, can I roll up the rope, or would that be an action?
I will consider that a bonus action because it's not going to take very long.
Okay. So I quickly roll up the rope and get back on my pack, and then the, this gross-looking thing on the bridge that I can obviously tell is not a rock, right?
Yep.
How big is it?
That thing is about a meter, no, less than a meter long, so I would say like 2.5 feet.
So it probably isn't very heavy.
Nope. Seems
Alright.
pretty light.
So then I'm gonna say time to go, and I'm gonna start running across the bridge. And as I approach this thing, I'm gonna try to wing my great axe at it and attempt to knock it off the bridge.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll. All right. So you swing your great axe. So you're trying to get rid of it, like you're trying to move it.
Yeah, I'm trying to knock it off the bridge.
Okay. Can I get you to make a strength check as well?
Oh, come on.
Well, fortunately, this thing is very light. So you swing your axe around, and it does manage to connect, and you just smack it the little bit required to knock it off, and it goes tumbling off the bridge and lands with a loud slap on top of some of the debris, which seems to kick up quite a bit of noise now. And it is at that time that a large roar is heard from over in the corner of the cavern here near the skeleton. And Pedwin, out of the darkness, you can see emerging from a cave that was not immediately apparent before, a large, lumbering, four-legged creature that, on initial appearance, reminded you very much of what the kid looks like when he's transformed, but has a very different face.
Is it on the floor? Like, it's obviously not on the bridge, right? And it's not the skeleton.
No, it's on the floor. It's on the floor. It's just...
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right, and a large, what seems like a bear-like creature initially, but has a very different face. It's got the wide, swooping eyes of an owl. And it's got the same architecture of fur and feathers around its face, and a bill on the front of its mouth. And it seems to lumber out and, again, emit a loud roar as it starts to investigate what's going on in this situation. It's taking a look around, and it sees the only creature that is on its level. And it is going to, let's see, how far can it go? Okay, it can go far enough. And it dashes over here within range of the creature that just landed. The roar has scared off the bats, and they immediately leave, recognizing this particular threat. And this creature is going to attack.
Okay. Before it attacks, can I finish my movement?
You can.
Sure. Oops.
Okay, I want you to make a dexterity saving throw. All right, you managed to step over the board that Pedwin had weakened when he broke through it initially, and safely make it to the other side. The creature itself is going to then attack the the thing that was knocked off. Ugh. And it just tears into this thing, and it actually just rips it into pieces and just starts devouring what, like, everything that it was. It just, there's nothing left for this thing. It has gone the way of the dinosaur. And this much larger creature now appears to be feeding on it. And oddly enough, has not yet noticed you. Because it seems to be quite concerned with its meal more so than anything else. Okay, it is Aya's turn.
That was Joe's turn.
No, Joe made his turn already.
What was his turn?
Well, so far it's been Sebastian. Oh wait, no shit. Sorry, I put this out of order. Yes, Pedwin, it is your turn. It would definitely appear to be clear up ahead. Probably a good call, so you don't attack anybody. And that ends your turn. Oop, that was not what I wanted. Okay, there. That's better. Alright, you guys see the red X, yes?
Yep.
Okay, good. Alright. So, for the time being, the creature has not noticed you anymore, or has lost its interest. It's consuming its meal. And Aya is going to make her attempt to get across. And knowing that there is a weakened board now, she's going to try and just deftly avoid that. And as she is heading across, unfortunately, one of the other boards that she steps on is weakened as well, and it snaps, and her leg falls through, and she is stuck partway along the bridge. The noise of this now attracting the attention of the creature down in the pit.
Oh,
as it
no.
looks up and is now focused on the fact that there is movement, there is sound, there are other creatures in here. And you can see it. It's kind of, you can hear like a huffing noise as it's starting to sniff the air and try and find out what's going on. Let's go with a...
Hobbit talks.
And unfortunately, she's trying to pull herself up and out and cannot at this moment. So she's currently stuck there for the next little bit. And the kid is now at the end of the bridge, kind of looking at this, and is kind of looking around without really an idea of what he should do. So, Big Mo, you are the closest one. What are you gonna do?
So is this turnover then?
Well, he's a little wary to step on the boards.
So
So
he's gonna take his turn later or something?
Yeah, he's gonna ready himself because he's looking around. He's keeping a very close eye on that creature that's down there in the pit, and he's looking at you like, should I go? I don't. And Aya spins around and puts her hand up, and she says, "No, no, you shouldn't."
All right, I'm going to. I can make a move, right?
Right now, yes, because you're not technically in combat.
Okay, I'm gonna take a step back to be completely off the bridge because I don't think my movement took me completely off the bridge. I'm gonna unfasten my rope and toss her one end of it.
Okay, roll a d20. All right, so you toss the rope, and unfortunately, it falls a little short, just out of the range of her reach. Actually, wait, what am I saying? What's this distance here?
It's like 10 feet.
Okay, now you know what? I'll say that makes it. All right,
Yeah.
so she latches onto the rope,
I give it a tug.
and you give a pull. I want you to give just a straight strength ability check.
I'm getting the worst rolls. What was that? A 4?
That was yeah, I think it was a 4.
Jesus. Okay. I hope she pulls back too.
So.
My muscles are weak from the jump from the slug man.
Wait, did you? No, you weren't poisoned from that thing, right? You resisted it?
No. Yeah, I resisted.
Yeah, okay. All right. Because that would have been a big deal. I would have had to do something about that. Okay, so she is going to pull as well, but before she does that, actually no, she's just going to pull.
I hope something good comes of it, because I don't want her leg eaten off, because I don't want to have to carry her out of here.
She pulls herself up with enough strength that she frees herself from the bridge, and it is just in time because the creature from underneath just reaches up and with a shriek it lunges with its claws and snaps with its jaws, and they're just out of range of her leg, which is pulled up and free of the hole that she was trapped in.
Right, so... Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And she very quickly finishes her dash and actually nudges you a little bit as she gets onto the platform. She claps you on the back with a thanks. And now that you're seeing her up close, you can see that, this is a very alien-looking creature. Her eyes are completely white. Her hair is kind of like a rust-colored, almost, and and the horns themselves they're not terribly thick, but they are quite prominent, and they are a very dark brown fringed with a lighter brown, where at kind of each of the junctions of the horn.
I'm not going to judge her, because we've been traveling with Holg.
Alright. That was Aya's turn. Okay. So it's now the kid's turn. And he's going to take a step back. There it is. And he is just going to run as fast as he can across that bridge. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, wait, but he's poisoned, which sucks a lot. Oh, man. No, the poison lasts for an hour if you're poisoned that way.
We sat down for an hour.
Oh, that's right. Okay, no, so that's fine. Good thing you guys remembered that. Okay, so instead of getting a 7, he crits, and he just fucking jaunts his way over like it's nothing. And the whole way through, this creature is kind of keeping in pace, and it's basically right up against the rock ledge that this platform is built on, and it starts to latch its claws onto the stone itself and begin to slowly pull itself up.
God.
Okay, Big Mo, it is your turn. You have this thing that is trying to climb up to where you are.
Is its turn before Joe's?
Its turn is at the same time as Joe's, so I'm going to let Joe take his turn first.
Okay, I am gonna assume Joe. So. I'm gonna try to book it over here. Make that leap.
Okay, how far is that?
It's
From where you were, that's 30 feet to get there?
yeah. It's I can make the leap to there, I think.
Okay, so you're going to just bolt?
Yep.
Alright, I need you to make an athletics check.
Oh, please don't fail me, athletics. Please, please.
Okay, so you managed to push past with a quick like hey on her part as you just run full tilt across these boards. They creak underneath your footsteps and you just hurl yourself across.
Oh.
And once again, you manage to kind of catch your upper half on the edge of the cliff. Your feet are dangling a little bit as you slowly pull yourself up.
Aha.
And this creature it disconnects from the pillar for the time being and starts to head over here. Let's see, how far is that? That is 20 feet. Okay, how much movement does this thing have?
Probably gonna be something like 130 feet.
No, it's only got that left. Okay, it is going to try and jump.
Oh, good God. It can jump.
It can jump. It's a creature like any other.
It can jump 20 feet.
We're gonna find out. It's pretty strong. Or it could fail miserably by rolling a 1. It could do that too. Alright, so it jumps up and it latches its claws on, and for a moment it gets a lot of traction, and then all 4 of its limbs just peel off and it lands on its back with a dull thud. You can see some of the dust kick up around it.
I assume it failed. Crit fail.
It crit failed, and it is now lying there on its back.
Oh, beautiful.
And that actually ends its turn. Pedwin, you're up. Alright, make your ranged attack.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, so Pedman points his finger out, and once again that silvery blue jet of energy fires off from his fingertip, and his pinky finger, and it slams into the side of this creature, which seems to it twists its body and rolls away from the source of this pain. And you can see small pieces of frost clinging to the fur and feathers that line its body as it slowly tries to pull itself up to its feet. Okay, that brings it back to Aya. And she is going to just bolt and try and get as much jump as she can. She runs towards the edge and leaps off, but the tattered board underneath her feet is not very solid footing and actually snaps as she does. She jumps, and she does manage to get a hold of the edge of the cliff, but it's only by her fingers and her hands, and the rest of her body is actually hanging down off the edge of the cliff.
Am I allowed to try to help her, even if it's not my turn?
You are on your turn.
Damn. Okay.
And you look over and you can see a little bit of concern, or more than a little bit of concern in her eyes as she darts from you back to this creature, which is slowly making its way back up onto its feet. Yes, it is slightly slower now. That is correct. So it is now the kid's turn. 5. All right, and the kid is also going to make a run for it. Unless, of course, he hears some request not to. Okay, so he takes his run towards this and actually jumps just before the same platform that Aya jumped onto, or jumped off of as well. And he manages to clear and land just over top of Aya's hands, kind of kicking a bit of dirt and rocks down on top of her, but successfully not knocking her over and not stepping on her hands. Oh, God.
What happened?
The GIF that Joe linked. Okay, Big Mo, it is your turn.
I'm gonna reach down and grab. It's Aya, right?
Aya's,
both of Aya's arms. I'll turn
All
to
right.
her, and I'm gonna heave and hoe and pull her up. Attempt to pull her up on the ledge.
All right, I need you to make.
I'd assume she's like 90 pounds, and it's like lifting my own arms for me.
Okay, I need you to make a strength check.
Oh, don't fail me now. No. Oh. I'm supposed to be some like. Hold on. Give me a second.
All right, so you
You
reach down and you grab onto her hands.
320 pounds, 6'6", and I'm having trouble pulling up some 90-pound girl
Pulling
from a
up
cliff.
a little 130-pound girl.
130
Yeah, she's 130. So you grab her and you pull up on her, but you can't seem to get a very solid purchase on the leather armor that she's wearing, and so you're pulling and pulling, and unfortunately, it's not helping to bring her up.
Am I allowed
So
to try again?
You're not allowed to try again right now. No. Now the creature has righted itself and it's gotten itself up.
Oh.
And that actually uses its movement. So once again, it is going to try and jump up and try and climb the cliff. Oh, wow! It rolled a 2 this time. So again, it jumps up and clings its claws onto the rock, where unfortunately is not gaining any purchase, and once more falls, but this time it manages to twist and not land completely on its back and be rendered helpless. Pedwin, it's your turn. Do it. Alright, once again, the Pedwin points his pinky finger and fires out a silvery blue jet of energy, striking nearby the same portion as it did before, and the small frozen patch of fur and feathers grows a little larger as it once again impacts onto this creature, which so far hasn't seemed to demonstrate any real concern being taken by these rays of frost that are hitting it. Okay, it is Aya's turn, and she's going to attempt to pull herself up. I almost rolled the bear. Aya is not a bear, just in case you guys are wondering.
Can she cast an illusion on her illusion?
Alright, so she is heaving and hoeing and trying to pull herself up, but her feet just will not gain her purchase. And she's a little higher up now, but still has not been able to haul herself over the edge. Alright, this time the kid is going to also help to bring her up. So now, Steve-O, or Big Mo, I need you to make a strength check with advantage. Alright, and the two of you are enough to pull Aya up and over the edge, and all three of you are now completely on top of the cliff on the other side.
And because I am not the most charismatic person in the world, and I don't understand what makes women angry, I say, you're a lot heavier than you look.
She looks mad for a moment, and then says, "Maybe it's just you're not strong enough, big guy." And then taps you with the back of her hand on your chest, and then walks by with a smirk on her face.
Taps me with the back of my hand?
No, she uses the back of her hand and smacks you on your chest as she goes by.
Oh. Are we in a combat?
Combat is now over because you are not in danger anymore.
Run away!
Alright. You all leave this creature.
Despite all the treasures that are probably down in its lair, run away!
Well, no one's stopping to investigate, so if there's anything down there, it's going to remain down there.
Run away!
Okay, sorry, wait, you, show me what pathway you moved along?
Oh god.
Show me the pathway. Okay. So you get to here.
God. The Caves of Doom.
And another mass detaches from the ceiling and drops straight down on you. This one falling from further up. What's your AC? It dropped to intercept you. It did not drop in response to being underneath you. It appeared to be aware of the fact that you were there and heading towards it. Alright, so this thing drops and slams right down on top of you, dealing 10 piercing damage.
Oof.
I'm just gonna move it slightly off to the side so everybody can see it. Alright, so now we need everybody to roll initiative again.
No, but there's something on top of you.
Okay. Sorry, doing a lot of initiatives here.
Don't tell me another bird thing is gonna show up. I don't think our party's in any.
Has everyone rolled initiative? Okay, so it is actually the kid's turn first. He is way back there. So he's going to spend his movement to go forward. And then he's once again going to... You see him he'll start to transform again. His body seems to shrivel, shrink, and ultimately start to grow as it malforms, and you can hear the grotesque sound of bone and muscle shifting and straining. And he is back in bare glory. Okay. So that is his turn going to end. And next up is Aya. And she's going to spend her movement going forward. Yeah, okay. She's going to go to there. And she's going to once again unleash that same kind of spell you've seen her do a few times now. And this is... So she raises her hand again, you see that same distortion, that same black beam fire out, and it streaks just past, just over this creature that has landed on top of Pedwin, and it strikes the
Lady
small
hit
pillar.
something.
Strikes the small pillar there, and blows a chunk of it out, and she curses under her breath again. And that's going to end her turn. Pedwin, you're up. Alright, what direction are you running the fuck away to? Right there?
Then you hear that screeching of Owl Man behind you. Shit like that. HPG's out to do a total party kill.
I really don't want to do that. No, I don't. Okay, so that is going to be Pedwin's turn.
Can I say more?
I just want to do. You know, I never actually noticed that. Okay. So, it is actually Big Mo's turn next. What are you going to do, Big Mo?
I already did like all of it.
Okay, so show me the path you took to get there.
Great path.
Alright. As you are running by, another one of those creatures descends. However, it's missed its mark, and it slams down on the ground right beneath it, and the weight of the fall seems to have done a little bit of damage to itself.
I'm still gonna attack that first one that fell.
Okay. And you got a motherfucker. You got a crit. Okay, so it is going to take a grand total of was that 13 slashing damage?
Yep.
Okay, so that thing has. You bring your axe up and you slam it down into what is comparatively a tiny body, and you just take a huge chunk of that thing out. You hear its little tiny pathetic squeal as it writhes in pain from having taken so much damage, and it begins to try and slowly slither away from you, and it's slowly working its way towards one of the walls.
Can I get an opportunity attack?
Yes, you are going to get an opportunity attack against it. As you swing your axe a second time, your axe passes right through where the piece of it that you cut off would have been, and you just miss it. As it begins to slowly crawl its way. Oh, actually, you know what? It doesn't even get that fucking far. This thing can move 5 feet. Alright. So it gets that far away from you. Alright, now it's the kid's turn.
Death, the kid.
And he's actually just going to go for the new one. And he just bites into this thing and clamps down on it and brings one claw up and just tears right into this creature, actually removing its head completely. It's go clean off, and this creature dies.
Nice.
Okay. This is from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, you know what? I suppose I'm not that surprised, given Hideo Kojima.
Did you guys see my cat link?
Yes, but I didn't have time to read the whole thing.
Scroll down to like image like 20 or something. You don't actually have to read them.
Okay. So it is now Aya's turn. And she is going to ready her crossbow and fire it.
Gonna
Actually,
miss
wait,
again.
No, she's too close for that. Okay, so she is going to. She's just going to run up and beat it with that club that you saw her use before. As she swings the club up and brings it down again, you see that same kind of distortion moving around the club itself as it connects, and you hear a very solid as it hits this small, squishy object.
Wishy. And it did 10 damage to Joe?
Well, it's looking at the shape of the creature, you can see that it's very much oriented to do its damage on its landing. And then after that, it's not really in great shape to defend itself. It can't move very far and it can't move very quickly.
Huh.
All
Like
right,
a
that ends
design
its turn.
flaw.
Sorry, that ends Aya's turn. Pedwin, you're up. Yep, the bear killed it. Just killed it dead. Go ahead. So those automatically connect. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so Pedwin opens up his hands and mutters an incantation, and you see, well, all of you see these small arcane bolts just fire off from his hand. And the first one connects, and it sends this creature careening into the air, and you can hear it just kind of squeal, and the sound of it giving up its last utterances as the last two bolts hit it in midair and just blow it into chunks and completely destroy this creature. And it is very, very dead. All right.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting kinda tired. Let's take a long rest. I look
All
towards
right.
Fairman to see if he agrees.
You see him shift once more, and he reverts back to the form of that you are more familiar with.
Hmm.
And he looks around at the surroundings, and he says, "Fine, if you must, but I'm going to keep looking for my brother." And
Fine,
he
looks
actually
like-
walks off.
Looks like we have to follow him then.
You don't necessarily have to. It's entirely up to you if you choose to follow him.
You guys think we should follow him? Might as well stick with Big Bear Man. I agree.
Good call. You follow in their exact footsteps. And Pedwin, I want you to make an intelligence check.
I was expecting one to follow him. Just ignore everyone else and follow on Pedwin.
You begin to recognize that this area is somewhere you've seen before. And as you notice the gossamer strands that are built up in the corner, some of them charred and singed, you recognize this as the same structure that you were in previously in your last foray down the cistern.
With the spiders? So are you leading again?
Okay, well, I will say this. You guys can choose to have a long rest. It's just this kid's being a shit, and nobody's told him, like, nobody's kind of put him in his place, so he's still trying to call the shots.
I'm just gonna follow him. I don't feel like dealing with it right now.
Okay.
Joe, you should probably let him lead.
He turns to you and he says, "Don't call me that. My name is Orun." Do you really cast sleep on him? Fucking amazing. Okay, do the attack. So he so you raise your hands and you cast sleep on him, and you see him become very drowsy for a moment, and he almost falls over onto his side and manages to catch himself and then shake it off. At which point, Aya pipes up, and she says, "Look, kid, I know you want to find your brother, but we need to take a rest." And, well, you now know his name is Orun. He seems to look around and realize that he's outnumbered on this particular argument and says, "Well, fine. Let's set up camp then."
No, don't lead the way, Jesus. Oh, good God. I thought it opened up real wide. I think
Yes,
it
you
was
recognize where you
right?
impacted the webs before and you burnt some of them away. Yeah, that's where the spiders are. Oh yeah, yeah. You're fairly familiar with this. Go ahead and make an investigation check. You don't see anything unusual behind the rock. The rock glares at you very angrily. Alright, so are you making up camp down there? On the other side of the door? Okay, you once again come to... Oh, that was not what I was supposed to do. No, there's not. Alright, so... it is getting pretty late in the day. Everyone is starting to feel a little bit sleepy. It was about noon or a little later when you guys came down here, and that was more than a few hours ago now. I would say you've been down in this cave for probably like 3+ hours. I would say that it's the best you can surmise, it is evening. So as everyone begins to wait, are you going to open that door? Okay. So you go ahead and point your pinky finger at the door and cast Ray of Frost on it again. And once again, the beam seems to be absorbed by the door, which takes no damage. And you hear a low rumble and a as the door begins to slide down again.
Do sound effects for The Legend of Zelda.
I'm glad you like them.
Because that was perfect rock sliding noise.
I pride myself on my ability to make the sounds of sliding rocks.
Oh, what's this room?
This room is a cistern that seems to be made of very old stonework that Pedwin had discovered before the last time he came down into the well.
We can sleep in here?
Big Mo, never having been here before, you take a look around and you see the stone walls of this large cylindrical impression that you're in, and you notice the mechanized system of chains and buckets that runs down into the pool of water and then back up to the ceiling and out into what you can only assume was the small stone room you saw attached to the well back on the surface in the crossroads.
We're making camp in here.
I think that's the plan. Are you guys making camp in here?
After we caused all that chaos in the town.
This is where you guys have chosen to make camp.
And their entrance into the caves where they're planning on coming to kill his brother.
Well, from what you could ask him, like, what's going on. Okay. Well, as you're all starting to set up your beds and things like that, Urun decides to speak up. He says, "First thing tomorrow, we're checking the rest of this place. We're finding my brother Rowan." And Aya pipes up as she's starting to sit down and flip through a book that she's pulled out of her bag. She says, yes, yes, you said that before. We get it. Your brother's down here. We've got to save him. Don't you have anything else going on?
I don't know, I think she's kind of awesome.
Urun doesn't take particularly kindly to being talked down to like that, and stands up, and you can see the hair on his arms and his shoulders kind of standing up on end. And she looks back at the fact she's pissed off. She's like, oh, calm down, kid. If I was really your enemy, I wouldn't have helped to get you out of this place. I wouldn't have come down here at all. Pedwin, are you staying on that side of the door? The only thing that I'm concerned about is what's to stop them from coming down here. They saw us jump in. They know we're here.
The guard did.
Well, the guard saw you.
The guard
saw you
assumed we were
standing
jumping
outside
down.
it.
We had moved it already.
Urun speaks up again. He says, fine, do you have a better idea? And Ea retorts with, yes, let's stay on the other side of the big stone door they can't get through. Nobody seems to be arguing with Pedwin. Pedwin, make a persuasion check or persuasion roll.
I roll persuasion to see if he beats me out, and then if he beats me, then I'll just go with what he says.
Yes, you can go into a contest of wills. What's your alternative that you're proposing, Big Mo?
It's between what's her name and.
Oh, it's between Ea's idea and Pedwin's idea?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe he's trying to make the case for Ea's idea. That's the way I look at it.
Either way, I like Joe's idea.
Joe manages to form his argument a little bit better, and he basically just suggests to the group that they might as well stay down there, bringing up the fact that if anyone comes down, that they're going to have a pretty big advantage on anyone trying to get down into the cistern to attack them. And this seems to be enough to satisfy most everybody. The mechanical chugging of the water buckets in the chain seems to slow and then stop, as everyone seems to be setting up camp in this kind of dark and mildewy cistern. And everyone sets down to rest for the evening. Is anyone going to stay up to take watch?
Can I ask, before we go to sleep, can I ask what's her name, why she was in a disguise? Reveal herself beforehand. Say not?
She clears her throat, points to Pedwin, and says, yes, that. And she kind of glances over at Pedwin, given that he gave exactly the answer that she was going to give, and has a small smirk.
Uh-oh.
She says quietly, I suppose I'm not the only one used to being one of their own kind. Oh, I fucked that line up terribly. Basically, she's just glad somebody gets it.
I see you're not the only one, weeb of blah 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 blah.
Yep. Let's just assume that that's what I said. I'm glad that there's a recording of this so everyone can hear my fail. Okay. So, nobody staying up to watch?
The only way down is a ladder, right?
Yep.
Is it dark down here?
Yep. Very
I'm just
dark.
gonna sit at the foot of the ladder.
Okay. You are at the foot of the ladder. Alright, and
With my
everybody's gonna go to sleep?
with my back against it so I can feel vibrating when people try to walk down.
Well, the rungs are like mounted into the stone. They're just mounted one after the other in a vertical line.
Well, I might feel something
Alright.
other than their foot.
Alright.
I want to go to bed. Big Mo
Okay.
tired, Big Mo
Everybody goes to sleep.
While we're sleeping, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get something to drink.
Okay.
I think a good time to take a.
So everybody heals back up to full. Everyone gains all their hit dice back. Pedwin, you regain all of your expelled spell slots. Oh, I just realized something that I should have done earlier. It doesn't really matter, but I just realized it. If I was clever, I would have used one of Aya's spells to solve that problem of trying to get across those gaps before, but I'm not smart. Okay, you have I think you have 2 3/4 of the gunpowder left. Last time you used 1/4 of the gunpowder to make your bomb. Make your tinkering roll. It's going to be dex because of the precise work involved and the fact that it's quite dark. Alright, so despite the low light conditions, you successfully managed to craft, using half a pound of gunpowder, you managed to craft 3 small, what are they, bombs or grenades or what? Okay, so you managed to craft 3 small bombs, and you can add those to your inventory. You lose half a pound. So you were down to 2 1/4 pounds, and you have gained 3 bombs. Yup. Learning's good. Um, okay, can you make a... I don't want to go with investigation. Let's just go with a straight intelligence check. Yeah, history would do as well if you want to do history. Wait, what about your portent? Could you use your second portent? And wait, really? You have to use it before the roll? Wait, then how did you impose it on that creature's attack? Oh, that's right. Okay. As you're flipping through your books, you don't find anything that stands out to you. Unfortunately, you can't remember anything beyond what you had that you had inferred from before, which is that the stones are set to react to a very specific kind of magic. Alrighty, Steve-O, are you back? Guess he's not.
Don't worry, guys, I did not go to bed. But I am back.
Okay. So, Steve-O, you're at full life again. You have all your hit die recovered. You have all your uses of rage recovered.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that.
No problem. Okay. So, as you all awake,
Did
you,
I roll up my rope when I was done with it?
I just assumed that you did.
Okay.
All right. So, as you all are woken by the sound of the mechanical churning of that chain and buckets, and just the sounds of the water being scooped up and dumped back out. As everyone wakes up, Pedwin, you haven't put your life back to full. So as you all wake up to the sound of that, you see Urun look up, and he kind of mutters to himself about the old man behind that operates the winch in the well. None of you quite hear what he says, but you do hear him mention a name. Okay. Well, we gotta wait for Joe because he's the only one
Open the damn door.
that can open the fucking door. Okay, he opens the door. Alright, everybody filters through. This time, Urun is not waiting for anybody, he's just walking up, and you hear him calling out for his brother again. You just hear, Rowan! Rowan! Just disappearing off into the distance, as he's just not waiting for anybody else. Then you see him stop and sniff the air. And he gets very excited all of a sudden. He turns to the collective group and he says, Rowan is around here. I know, I can tell. There's not a lot of things this is good for just yet, but I've learned how to use my nose.
Good for you.
Pedwin, you hear a voice inside your head. You hear a voice inside your head. And it sounds like Aya's voice. And she's asking you if you know what that kid is. Her response, again, you hear this within your head. I've never seen a human that can do that. I've met druids before, but he doesn't strike me as a druid. I'm going to get you to make an Arcana. Yes, let's go with Arcana check. Wow, your portent is very similar to what you did before. Okay, so when you were flipping through your books yesterday, you didn't find a whole lot about those doors, but you did pass over a section on lycanthropes and people that have been afflicted with a curse that changes their nature and it permits them the ability to shift into and out of a beast form. What you recall, though, is that these people should be capable of shifting at will, and that there is also a hybrid form, one that is half animal and half humanoid. And this kid has not demonstrated that ability just yet. He is what's commonly known as a werebear.
Their wolf, their castle.
Terrible, both of you.
Why are you speaking like that, Martha? You wanted me to.
So you share this information with. Well, do you share this information with Aya? All right. You actually hear the sound of her stopping and thinking, but you only hear this within your own head, which is a very strange sensation. And she doesn't say anything else, but walks off. And then again, you hear, yes, that would make sense. Okay. So, are you following the kid? Or are you following Urun, I should say? Okay, so Pedwin is heading off to the right, and Urun is heading off to the left. Big Mo, where are you headed?
Sorry, I want. Wait, are people going different directions?
Yes, Pedwin is heading off towards. Oh, he's standing over there.
People are going different directions?
Well, Urun is convinced that he knows where his brother is, and he's just kind of heading in that direction.
Is it Aya?
Aya, yes.
What is Aya doing?
Aya just seems to be kind of floating around. For a period of time, she was staring very intently at Pedwin, but since then has stopped doing that. And she seems to be growing a little impatient.
I'm just gonna follow him down.
Okay, Aya is going to head over to where Pedwin is. Big Mo, do you have any sources of light on you?
My muscles.
So in your Explorer pack, you don't have any torches or anything?
I'm pretty sure there's I have 10 torches in my Explorer's pack, as well as a tinderbox.
Alright, so you're gonna light up one of those torches?
Yes, I can. Are the other two not coming with us?
The other two appear to be over on the right-hand side.
I'm gonna say kind of loud. Are you two not following us? Can't you guys just trust his bare nose?
And with that, Urun he continues moving in this direction, rather heedless of the conversation you guys are having, and he disappears from view.
Already walked out of sight. Walk a little closer to him. I say we go that way. Follow him. Because more than likely, something will happen. He'll die. And we'll feel bad about it. Not that I care or anything. He has treasure. Maybe he has a spell that can turn you into a bear, Pedwin. Worth a shot.
From Pedwin's knowledge of this particular kind of creature, the only way to gain its abilities is to have the curse passed on to you through a bite.
I think for a second, then I say, I bet there's pod people over that way where you're going.
So what are you going to do? Right now you're standing there. Okay then.
Are you guys...
Alright, Big Mo, what are you gonna do?
Are you guys gonna follow this way?
Aya does not like the idea of having reduced numbers, so she is also going to head towards the area where Big Mo is running off to.
Let's go this way.
The last known location of her own.
What do I see as I round this corner?
As you round this corner, you see that Urun is standing at what appears to be a makeshift blockade of just old and dried wood. Some of them are planks from the room that you guys crossed over before. You didn't finish checking down this way before. That's not lies. You can go back to you can look at the video footage, Joe. You go and you check there. I know for a fact you did not see what was down here. You went and you were like, "Oh, spiders! Let's shoot fire at them."
That's it.
You came down here and you saw about as far as your dark vision would let you see, and then you turned around and left. You know from your memory that there is a small pool of water over here in the corner. So, when Big Mo rounds the corner, he sees Urun up against this wooden barricade, and at this point, he's actually just smashing against it with his fists, and he's calling out through there, "Rowan! Rowan!"
Does it look like he's gonna
Big Mo,
get through it fine?
What little you can, huh?
Does it look like he's gonna get through the barricade fine?
He doesn't have any weapons, and in his human form, he doesn't really have a lot of...
Alright, so what do I do? What'd you say? I what?
Like, you can see past this barricade a little ways, and as you do, you see the shape of a larger human start to walk forward, and then run forward.
I've seen that figure before.
This is what Urun initially looked like, but he was younger than I wanted this thing to seem. So I used the avatar for this guy.
Where was that guy used? I've seen like where was the avatar used? It's just bugging me that I don't remember.
Somewhere in the crossroads, I used him. Yes, he is.
Oh,
he's
okay. Yep,
he's the token for Billiam.
Okay, yep, that's it.
The token that is used is just called Thug, so it's just a random. Like technically, it's an enemy, but I just used it for this.
All right. So what's happening?
So you see this humanoid run up, and he grabs Urun's hand through the barricade, and you hear his. And this is a fully grown man, and he's very, very burly and stocky, just like Urun is, but he's a fully grown man. So you hear a deeper voice boom out from this. "Urun, how did you get down here? This is not safe for you."
At this barricade, can I take my great axe and break down the barricade?
You can do that, if you give me a second.
The bad's gonna happen, I can feel it.
I will give you that one, that I did... As I didn't want to just reveal everything, you did have to go a little bit further through there. It did certainly look that way. I'm sorry, Joe. Don't hate me, please.
DM's gotta keep it interesting.
Okay, so... Big Mo, as you move in to try and smash the crap out of that gate, you see Rowan raise up his hand and says, "That will not be necessary."
Hmm.
And with that, you see him he just reaches in and with his great big and rather hairy hands, he just starts to disassemble his barricade bit by bit.
And for the ladies, Harry.
And Urun is helping him as well, and the two of them rather rapidly clear this out. And the first thing they do is just give each other a great big hug.
Bear hug.
You could say that. And Urun is looking up at his brother, and he says, "I thought Samir killed you." And Rowan responds, "It's gonna take a lot more than that to kill someone like us." And then he rather nervously looks at his brother and then looks at the people behind him that he's never seen before. And he actually pushes his brother behind him and then steps forward to look at Aya and Big Mo. And he poses the question to the two of you. "And who might you be?"
Just humble travelers. Looking for a great axe.
You see him pull up at his side. He has his own battle axe. And then he looks at you. "Well, you can't have mine."
I don't want yours.
"Well, then I don't think we have a problem. Do you have a way out of here?"
Maybe.
Let
No.
me rephrase. Do you have a way out of here that doesn't involve walking through an entire encampment of people that want to see me dead?
Nope.
None less what? Well, then that leaves us with a problem. Pedwin, are you still standing over there, or have you joined this group? Okay, then. You haven't heard them, no, but you do notice that it's been a while since you saw them at what you assumed to be a dead end.
Well, you guys give me a minute, at which point I walk back and tell Pedwin, "I'm over here, we found him." Walk back. I just told him, we found him.
You didn't make a persuasion roll, Steve-O.
Fine, I'm gonna
I'm
trudge
kidding,
back.
I'm
I'll
kidding. You
say,
don't
I'll
have to do a
say,
persuasion roll.
I'll be right back again. I come back, I grab Edwin by the back of the collar, and proceed to carry his stubborn ass down down here.
Okay, I need a dexterity saving throw from Pedwin, and I need a strength check from Big Mo.
Oh, come on!
Oh man,
User
I'm
joined
actually
your channel.
really surprised you didn't get portented by Joe.
User left your channel.
Okay, so you go to pick up Big Mo, and he rather deftly wriggles free of your grip.
Joe, you're trying to pick me up?
I come back and say, "Well, we have another, but I don't know what he's doing."
Okay, so I want
The great great of unmoving.
you guys would have to get back up there, though. Oh, are you proposing that you would leave and then you would feed a rope down? How much rope do you have? Well, I know that Big Mo has some.
Joe, can you come down
Hey,
and join
wake
the
up.
party?
You have 50 feet of rope?
Or how I suggested the party before, how about we go up and talk to our tiny man?
So you're suggesting that they go there to
Yes.
meet up with Pedwin?
Yes.
Okay, so Steve-O, you're down there. Pedwin, I need you to make an investigation check. It is a pool of water, yes. And as you look around, you can't help but notice that the room seems a little bit on the mundane side. Although you are kind of curious as to where this water came from, because there's no water feeding it. Like, you don't see any drips forming down, and you don't see any little rivulets of water that are feeding into this. So there's just a pool of water there for some reason. And let's see. You are 10 feet from it, 5 feet from the edge. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay. No, but you are gonna have to roll for initiative. Doesn't really work like that. Oh, wow. What a terrible this roll. Just terrible.
What's terrible about it?
So the large stalagmite that is beside this pool seems to shimmer and shift forms. And in place of that, come on, can I select this shit? Okay, whatever. So the stalactite seems to malform, and a tendril shoots out from it and tries to grab a hold of Pedwin. And so with, I think this thing has multi-attack. No, it doesn't. All right, so it's going to attack with a pseudopod
Odd people?
because it gets a surprise attack. Your Pedwin, what's your AC? All right, so this thing lashes out, and you manage to just duck, and this thing barely misses and skims over top of your head as a long gooey tendril seems to have just emerged from the side of the stalactite or stalagmite that juts up from the ground, and you can now see it kind of start to waver and shudder and move slightly. Okay, let me see. From where this thing was, it was within 5 feet of you, so it is going to get an opportunity attack if you do that. Okay, that'll do it. So you disengage and then run away. And where do you run away to? What do you do? Okay, so all right, as Pedwin runs up Big Mo, you see Pedwin basically running up towards you from the area that he was previously in. And as he runs up, he cries out, "Tentacle Beast, need help," or what is it? What is it you said? Help. Okay, so he asks for help. So the party of people turn around in response to hearing this call. And Aya and Big Mo go running off to go help. And from what you can tell, Rowan and Arun do not follow. All right. I need Big Mo. I need you to make an initiative roll.
1. Oh, close.
Okay. So, Pedwin, it is your turn first. No, you got the surprise round, and then... Oh, yeah, you did... Well, you ran away, so that was your... Yes, I guess that was your turn. Okay,
So
so
it gets
Big
a
Mo, you're
turn
up next.
quick? Wouldn't it get a quick
What?
turn? Wouldn't it get a turn because Joe ran away. Joe ran away to yell for help, which would mean at the same exact time it can do something. Which would
Well,
mean
the
it
mimic
would do
attacked.
something.
It used its surprise attack to attack Joe, and
And
then
then on
Joe
the turn,
disengaged and left.
yeah, and then part of that turn it would go again, and then we'd join the fight on the next turn, right?
Okay. It's going to use its movement to...
Attack Joe.
No, it's going to use its movement to go as far as it can forward. And as it does that... So, as it does that, a mass ditches from the ceiling and lands directly on this thing, dealing a good amount of damage to it. With a large thud, it lands on what was at one point shaped like a stalagmite, which is now kind of jiggling around as it moves forward. And then this creature lands directly onto it, kind of jabbing it with the hard portion of its body. And that deals 10 damage to it. Okay.
Joe's
So that
turn.
is its turn. Actually, no, I guess it can attack that thing now. Well, things are not necessarily, like, everything's not allied against you. Okay, so this creature then reaches forward and you see a large set of jaws appear from on the side of it, and it chomps down on the thing that landed on it. And takes a great big bite out of that thing, and you can hear a soft sound of what sounds like something sizzling or corroding. And that is going to end its turn. Okay, now Pedwin, you're up. You gonna Ray of Frost that shit? Okay, so you Ray of Frost at the moving stalagmite. And you got a 19 on your roll, and that connects. So you point out with your pinky finger once more, and a jet of frost leaps out from it. The air around this beam starting to get a little misty with the effect on the condensation within the air, or should I say the moisture within the air. 6 cold damage, so this guy takes 6 damage. Okay. Are you going to move anywhere, or is that the end of your turn? Oh, and this reduces its speed by 10, too. Must remember that. Okay, Big Mo, you're up.
You think? I'm feeling adventurous today. Maybe not.
So you, Big Mo, you run up and you swing your axe at it, and you basically cleave where you think its head would be, and your axe passes right through the illusion appearance and does no damage to it. And is that going to end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Aya is going to spend her movement getting there. She raises her hand once more, and the same distortion appears in space, and a dark jet fires out and
It
slams
misses.
into the side of this thing.
Oh man, it actually hit for once.
This is the second successful time she's actually connected with this thing. All right, and it slams into the side of this creature, and you can hear it recoil with pain. And again, this mouth appearing seemingly out of nowhere just opens up to let out this kind of guttural like noise. Okay, that ends her turn. Another one of those masses detached from the roof. And manages to just miss Aya. And it lands on the floor with a hard thud, dealing a small amount of damage to itself. The creature that landed on the what you now know as a mimic, it starts to try and climb up the wall away from this, giving an opportunity attack to the mimic. It is a mimic. It matches descriptions that you've read in your books before.
HPG also said mimic whenever the thing fell on it.
And it does connect with its bite attack and manages to just bite in half the creature that's trying to crawl up the wall away from it. And it is now dead.
Dead.
Very dead. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. No wonder it's not doing that.
HPG, why'd you
There
put
we go.
dots everywhere?
I was on the wrong thing. My bad. Just ignore those. They don't matter.
They're blood splatter marks.
Yes, they are the blood splatter from the dead creature. Okay, Pedwin, you're up. All right, make your attack roll. Wait, you're doing Firebolt or Frost? All right, so you point your finger at it and get another blue-white 8 cold damage as it slams into the side of this creature. All right, Big Mo, you're up.
Here we go again. Ah. Oh.
So you take another big swing, a nice horizontal swipe, and once again your axe actually passes through the illusory appearance of this creature and does not connect for any damage.
You dang magic using piece of crap.
In fact, the swing is so strong that, and your anticipation of it connect, you kind of leaned your body weight into that. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, come on.
And you swing and miss, and it actually carries you forward by mistake, and you fall prone on your stomach between Aya and this creature. And thus ends Big Mo's turn. It is now Aya. Who, having seen this creature beside her, is going to take out the dark wooden club that you've seen her use before, and once again mutter an incantation along its length. And she brings this club up and then down, and you hear the dull thwack as it connects to the fleshy part of this creature. And Big Mo, your head is close enough that you can actually hear the snap of some of its bones as this club connects with a particularly vital portion of the creature. And that ends Aya's turn. Alright, the creature that has just landed is going to attempt to crawl up the wall again. And it has not yet left the attack range for Aya, so it does not provoke an opportunity attack. It is just trying to climb up the wall. And it is now the Mimic's turn, and is going to make a bite attack. Against Big Mo. What's your AC?
Oh, sorry. 15?
Alright, it connects. And this bite, it not only clamps down, it clamps down on something important. And
Not my
you-
penis.
And you know what? We're gonna say that it manages to catch just the tip. And
Oh,
you
no.
take a pretty severe bit of piercing damage, and what's more is where the teeth have sunk into you, you can feel a burning corrosion that is associated with being in contact with this creature, and it starts to sear and bubble at the points where its flesh contact the saliva of this
My
thing.
penis, it burns. STD.
And you take 19 points of burning penis damage.
No. Does what's her name see?
Aya does see.
No. She sees.
You can
Does she
see
see
her.
how-
You can see her kind of cringe as she sees what's going on.
Does she see how big it is, though? Even afterwards.
No, she does not see the size of it. She just sees the fact that this thing has chomped down on your nether region,
I know what I mean.
and she can imagine that that's unpleasant. Okay, Pedwin, you're up.
Do we know the effect a potion of healing has on a wound if I pour it directly on the penis?
You have to imbibe a potion of healing. You got to drink it.
Can't pour it on my penis and let
No.
it flow through my blood?
No.
Would it heal my penis back?
If your penis is gonna heal, it's gonna heal because you drank the potion, not because you poured it directly on there. You
So if I-
haven't lost anything. You just took some damage to the penis.
Oh, okay.
and
I
like
had the
nether region.
I had I thought it had taken the tip off,
No,
which
it
would
just
hurt.
bit down on your like your cock and balls and like half of your thigh area.
Medic, as I
You are pew pew pewing away. So Pedwin raises his hands and once again now what's the color you want to prefer? Is it gonna be pink again? Alright, so Pedwin raises both hands and three light blue bolts that streak towards this creature. And they seem to kind of twist in and amongst each other as they slam 1, 2, 3 into the side of this thing, dealing a collective, what is that, 8 damage? Dealing a collective 8 damage to this thing. You can see now that its illusion appearance is starting to shimmer a little bit, and it's starting to lose some of its coherence. Are you going to move at all? Okay, then that is your turn. Big Mo, you are currently prone. What are you going to do?
it's movement to stand up, right?
It is going to take all your movement to stand up, yes.
I stand up.
Alright, you stand up. You still have your action, though.
Yep. I'm gonna swing my great axe.
Alright, swing
Great
around.
gotta hits. And that's at the mimic.
That is going to connect on the Mimic. So you swing your great axe around, and this time finally finding purchase with the axe itself, you embed this large blade inside some of the mass of this creature. And again, you can hear it writhe with like a kind of sound. Let's see, is this 8 damage? Yes, it is.
Take that, you bitch. Make
Get
my
away from her,
penis
you
feel
bitch.
better. Am I allowed to drink a potion of healing as a bonus action or is that an action?
I will consider it a bonus action.
Then I'm gonna quick drink a potion of healing because my penis hurts a lot.
Alright, let's see what the potion of healing gets you.
It's 4 plus 2 is what I have in my comments for it. Oh, it says
4
takes
plus 2?
1 action. Ah, damn it.
Well, yeah, it takes an action, but I'm imposing my will as the DM, and I'm saying it takes a bonus action.
Awesome. Alright, I'm gonna roll that then.
I'm taking a page out of Matt Mercer's book.
7. I have to use the calculator because I can't add right now. 16 plus 7. Man, I feel like I'm back in elementary school. I could have done that stuff when I was in like 2nd grade, and now I have to actually think about it. Oh god.
Where are the potions?
I had it in my comments for the item HPG.
Well, yeah, but I want to know where these things are so that I don't have to keep consulting.
Check potions. I'll see if I can help you out. Oh.
Okay, potion of healing is it's 2d4 plus 2.
Yep.
Okay, so you healed up your 2d4 plus 2. Yes, you did. You got 7. Okay, so you've healed up 7 points, and that is going to end your turn. Okay, it is Aya's turn. And seeing no immediate threat from that creature that she saw before, she's going to cast... Alright, let's see this.
Did my penis heal okay?
You can't tell at the moment. You haven't taken off your pants to investigate. Oh, what a bitch. Oh, so you see Aya hold for a moment, and she brings her hands up, and you can see at the tips of her fingers are these very long, highly polished, and seemingly very sharp black claws. As she weaves her fingers back and forth and mutters an incantation to herself, and then releases a bolt of energy out of her hands that arcs towards and actually, again, through the faltering illusion that surrounds this creature, and actually just misses it with her attack. She curses to herself. Shit! And now it is the little creature is going up, and now it has actually passed out of immediate melee range, which means Aya gets an opportunity attack against it.
Do I get an opportunity attack against it?
You were not close enough to it to gain an opportunity attack. Because it was already climbing up the wall when you got to your feet.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of on the other side of Aya. Like, it would have been over here, is
Like
more accurate
10 feet
representation.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 10 instead of 5. Okay, so 9 damage. Yes, 9. So once again, Aya brings her club up and over and beats on this thing, dealing just enough damage to kill it. You hear a pathetic little squeak as it reels and then falls down to the ground, and it is now dead. Okay.
One has different colored blood.
All right, it is now the Mimic's turn.
Oh god. Whoa.
And it is going to strike out at the only creature that is within range. So it is going to launch another bite attack against Big Mo.
Shit, this is gonna hurt.
What's your AC again? 15?
Yep.
Okay, so it once again lunges forward, this pair of jaws appearing outside.
Hopefully enough to stay alive.
Okay, so you use it before that attack occurs? Alright. So this creature, and it seemed like it was definitely going to connect with this bite attack from its jaws, but it seems to fall short all of a sudden, and the creature just snaps its mouth shut early, almost as if it believed that you were somewhere else, in a closer proximity to it. Yes, and quite literally. So Pedwin called out to Big Mo at the last moment and encouraged him to step slightly differently, and sure enough, the jaws slam shut in the space where Big Mo would have been. And therefore it misses its attack. It is going to... Many whelps? What? Oh, yes, I do. More dots, more dots, more dots. Okay, stop dots. Alright, and this thing is going to try getting away now. So it is actually going to back up, which gives 50 DKP minus. Okay, it gives Big Mo an attack of opportunity as it passes by.
I get an attack of opportunity?
You do. Take a swing.
Wham bam basil. Oh good god. 4 damage. What is up with my axe today? Why was it running away?
Because it's taken a lot of hits now. It's pretty injured and it really wants to get away. So you swing with your axe as it moves by, and you manage to just clip it, dealing a little bit of damage. And this thing is going to spend its movement, and it's actually going to get into the pool of water and dive in there. And it is just able to get there. Let me see, it was here. Yes, it's 15 feet. Okay, so it just manages to dive into the pool of water. And that ends its turn. Pedwin, you're up. You can see it is not yet fully submerged in the water. Okay, so a grand total of 10 damage. So there's no saving throw or anything on that, it's just basically free damage. Wow. I see. Alright, would you like to describe how your magic missile blows this creature to pieces? Okay. Well, this creature is now been blown to pieces. It is very dead. So yes, combat is over.
I try to steal its insides.
What remains of it has slipped beneath the surface of the water, so you're going to have to go down there to try and find it.
How deep is the water?
You're going to have to find out.
Can I reach my arm down to see how deep it is?
You can definitely reach your arm down.
Gonna quickly dip my hand down and then pull it out real fast.
Alright, as you submerge your hand into the water, it's actually quite nice, the cool sensation. If it weren't for the smell of dead mimic, it wouldn't really be all that unpleasant. But as you rifle around, you manage to catch a hold.
I'm not rifling around. I throw my hand in.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you just
pull
pull it in and brought it back up. So as you reach down, you grab a hold of the body of this mimic and heave on it and start to slowly pull it up and out of the water. And you notice that this thing made it a lot further down the water than you thought it was going to initially. Either that or the water is deeper than it seems when you first put your hand in it. But you managed to haul the corpse of this creature out and then search it, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so in and amongst its entrails, you find some coins you've never quite seen before.
Adding weird coins to my inventory.
Yes, you find 17 Electrum pieces.
Electrum.
Yeah, what are EP? So in your currency, they're listed as EP.
I found how many of them?
17. EP, let me see if I remember. Electrum. Oh, Electrum is 1-to-1 for gold. Oh no, it's sorry, it's 1/2 the value of gold.
Ooh.
So whatever you have in EP, just have that, and that's its value in gold.
Ooh. Ooh. How much did I pay for the horses?
They were 15 gold each. And you gave him a little extra tip because you bothered him in the middle of the night.
Right. Okay. Ask anybody if they want some of the entrail pieces.
Aya looks over and says, no, that's alright.
You guys don't like money. I have money. Get closer to me, oh no.
Well, Aya is going to,
You didn't see my
Gonna-
man bits, did you?
I didn't see anything worth noting.
Step forward a little, then quickly. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Aya's going to start washing some of the entrails off her club, and it actually slips from her hand. And you hear, oh, shit! And she reaches in to pick it up. And you notice that way more of her body disappears into the water than it seems like it would. What you anticipated to be a shallow pool is actually very much not so. And as she comes back up, and you swear it almost seems as if time slows down a little bit as she whips her head up and her hair kind of careens up and water cascades off the top of it in this big arc. And it's almost in slow motion. As she puts her club up and rests it on her shoulder and then slowly turns to look at the rest of the party. Yes, okay, you got the idea. And she points out, this is much deeper than I thought it was. I don't think it ends here.
Perhaps we should go find those two bear wolves. Where bears? Where?
As
Where
you finish
bear?
saying that, the two of them are walking up, and he finishes your sentence. We have names. I am Rowan. This is my brother Arun, who you've already met. He's told me... Rowan catches up to his brother and says, well, I was letting him know everything I'd seen. And he was telling me what he knew about Samir.
I knew someone named Samira once. He was actually pretty good at being an announcer. That's
Rowan,
not part of the game, that's something else.
Rowan pipes up, you know someone named Samir now. You tore the shirt off his chest.
What? Oh. Yeah, I don't like him.
I don't think he likes you much either anymore.
Yeah, he buys cheap clothes.
So with that, Rowan steps up. And he says, well, if you're not friends of Samir, what are you doing down here?
We lit the camp on fire.
You did what?
But technically, I didn't light the camp on fire. But the camp did get lit on fire. At which point I turn around and again, I don't feel like talking to him.
While this is going on, Aya has jumped into the water and has completely submerged herself.
What? What?
And she pokes her head back up.
Isn't she wearing white clothes?
No, she's wearing leather armor.
That disintegrates in water?
No, she's wearing leather armor. She pops back up and says, I think I found a way out of here. And then disappears back underneath the water and you lose sight of her.
Oh, there you hear it. I jump in the water. Hey, yo! What?
Are you going to you're gonna divinate?
What are you, some sort of a magical being?
Is it a spell that you cast, or how does that work? What?
It's a bunch of hogwash that he's using to try to.
Are you just fucking making this up? I see.
It's like tarot cards or something.
You mean tarot cards?
Same
Dude,
thing.
fortune telling is real, man. That shit's totally legitimate.
You actually believe that?
No. So before disappearing under the surface, you saw Aya mutter a small incantation to herself. Oops. What?
What?
That's actually not what she cast, but she did cast something. And she... Well, Steve-O, I need you to make an athletics check when you go under the water. Because you notice that as you get in there, that there is in fact a small tunnel that this water disappears into. And you're going to have to squeeze to get through there, but you can still do it.
Do I squeeze through, magical and masterful?
That you do. You squeeze through quite admirably. And you pop out a few meters away.
A few meters away.
Yep, in another room. And the first thing that strikes you about this room is that it is not anywhere near as dark and creepy as the rooms you just came from. In fact, it is quite brightly lit.
With fire?
With a fire. It's nearly dying, and you have little more than embers, but it is still casting off some light. And as you emerge from the pool of water, you notice that that Aya is investigating a bed and a chest that seem to be over in the corner of the room. Pedwin, you're still over there. What are you doing?
I'll walk up next to her.
Okay, Pedwin is standing on his head trying to figure out if this is a good idea or not.
You're probably confusing the shit out of our new traveling companions.
They
Just
are
so you
looking at
know.
him. The two humans you've just met are definitely looking at you a little bit strangely, but Rowan turns to his brother Arun and says, "If there's a way out of here, I've at least got to try. You coming?" And his brother nods his head, and the two of them, one after the other, dive into the water.
You lit everything on fire, Joe. I'm sure they could. Their power of deduction is high enough that when they realized firebolts were coming out of the place that you went and cowered behind.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that you got away with it. You don't know if anyone noticed. It was a crazy, chaotic... Or they were concerned with not having their town burned down. That's true. You could just try walking up through the cistern and see if anyone notices you. What are you gonna do? Very well. You hear a familiar voice inside your head. What are you waiting for? Come on. You scared of the water or something? As you break the surface of the water on this side. Actually, I need you to make an athletics check. So as you are making your way through this tunnel, you actually become wedged partway through. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. And you manage to squirm and writhe enough that you break free of whatever part of this little underwater tunnel that your robe was caught on and holding you in place, and you break through to the surface. And again, you are immediately greeted by the sight of a dying campfire and the smell of wood smoke. And as you look about you, you see that everybody is either drying off, and over in the corner of the room, Big Mo and Aya are investigating what appears to be a used bed and a chest over in the corner of the room. All right, you relight the fire and it kicks up into full force, and you hear that delightful pop and snap of wood burning, which you are a particularly big fan of. All right, so Big Mo Pedwin's relit the fire. Big Mo, what are you doing?
Investigating the bed, which is comfortable.
Okay. Have you made an investigation check?
No, but any bed is more comfortable than the ground. I don't care. I'm Big Mo.
Sleeps when he wants. So
I'll investigate.
make it a
the
free
bed.
investigation check. Okay, good. So from what you can determine, the bed has been used not too long ago.
So when
and
I lie
the-
down,
You're gonna lie down in the bed?
I say, comfy.
That wasn't supposed to be revealed, but whatever.
You're gonna get shat on by one of those rocks again.
As you continue to head around the corner, Joe, Pedwin, you are immediately presented with a similar stone face to one that you have been exposed to before.
Ooh.
And as you move up and touch this one, you notice that it bears the same mark of the School of Evocation that you are quite familiarized with. In fact, from what you can tell, this is the same design of door as the one that you encountered in the side of the cistern. It is even similarly cold to the touch. At the sound of that, Orun is very excited, and he immediately starts following you. Rowan is going to head over towards the bed.
If he tries to lay in the bed with me, I swear to God.
Yes, we can. And he critically fails his investigation, so he finds nothing. Alright, so I think this is, as Joe requested, this is a good place to stop. So when we pick this back up, you guys can look at anything else in this room you'd want to look at. You can investigate. Well, you know how to get back to the rest of the dungeon, so you could do that if you'd like. There is still there's the spidery place that you guys haven't been. And so unless you wanted to do some backtracking, you could always go forward through that door. But for the time being, that is everything. Thank you very much, you guys, for playing with me.
I enjoy playing with you.
I'm glad everybody's having fun. If not, I want to hear about it so that I can try and make it fun.
It was enjoyable almost all the way through.
Okay, let's total up some experience.